Saturday morning, and Luis Alvarez is helping us kick off the Experts program here on Power Talk Radio, 1460 and 101 FM. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Mark. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. I don't have the coronavirus, although I just saw a headline that cruise ship that is parked off the California coast outside of the San Francisco Bay, 21 of the passengers have tested positive for the coronavirus. So probably a good idea to keep them offshore there.
It's going to be interesting, the impact of the coronavirus. The fear that it instills in people has just been amazing to watch. We just were talking off the air about the South by Southwest, the big music and movie festival in Austin, just got canceled today. That was something that's supposed to start in about a week. As far as I know, and in our field, in the technology industry, it's been heavily hit by the coronavirus and fears of it spreading, so much so that 440 tech conferences and trade shows that were scheduled for this year have been canceled so far. And there's much more coming. We're getting emails and communications from other conference sponsors saying, hey, we may not do this. And we're talking about into November and December.
Wow.
So they expect that this is going to be here for the long haul. We're just talking to my brother, George, who works at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And he was telling me that the entire Disney office in Seattle, which is where they do a lot of their animation and some of the mechanical things that they do for the theme parks, they've all been told to work from home indefinitely.
Yeah.
So it's going to definitely impact the economy for sure.
Yes, definitely. And one of the other things you have to consider, we talk about South by Southwest, the Sea Otter Classic being postponed for, they haven't even set a date to do it again. They're probably looking for a date at Laguna Seca that they can, maybe in the fall or something or later in the summer. But there are a lot of festivals, like little weekend festivals that are all over California. And the people that work those festivals, or even those that are on the county fair circuit, you start having those events canceled, and those folks are going to lose significant portions of their income because those people, they live on that circuit, right? They travel up and down the state and around the West from one fair or street festival to another. And that's how those people make their living. So, this is something that, as it is rolling out and rolling through society, getting ever more serious. Now, as is always the case, there are always miserable people out there that want to try and take advantage of human suffering. And there are a lot of phishing scams going on regarding coronavirus. What have you seen so far that people should watch out for?
Well, there are a lot of phishing scams that are making their way through the interwebs, so to speak. Emails to people saying, hey, here's the what you need to do to protect yourself. They look perfectly legitimate, but once you get in there, they want you to click on links that will download malware onto your PC, or they want you to open files that will infect your PC as well. And they all tout that they have, either a cure or the prevention or something like that, or, an urgent update to coronavirus, how to protect yourself. And what we're telling people is if you get any emails about the coronavirus and you don't recognize the sender, and be careful when you read the sender to make sure it's legit, because you're seeing things like, CDCalerts.com.
Right.
To try to get people to click those emails. It's best to avoid all of those emails and instead just go to the website for the CDC, cdc.gov, or the local Monterey County Health Center so that you can get up to date on what's going on, as opposed to relying on emails or on social media, clicking on links that are expressing the same sorts of things. Fortunately, companies like Facebook and Google are starting to really crack down on ads that are spreading the coronavirus. Conspiracies and fake cures, but there's more of them going up as fast as they're taking them down. So just be aware that there's a lot of bad actors out there. They're, like always, they're trying to use a health emergency or emergency to take advantage of the public.
Right. Louis, what else should people be aware of?
Well, one of the things that you should do if you're a business owner locally and you're concerned about your ability to work in case the coronavirus spreads into our neck of the woods, you really should start thinking about preparing ways for your staff to be able to work remotely, because it's not just them getting ill, but more likely things like a school district shutting down for a month, as has happened up in Seattle and in other places across the country where schools are shutting down for an extended period period of time to make sure kids aren't exposed to it. Well, those kids have to go home and work, or go home and somebody has to stay home from work and watch them. And you want that person to be productive and want them to be able to continue to work. So we're working with a number of our clients who approached us and said, hey, we want to be able to continue to have these people work remotely, but also securely. So setting up VPNs and using other tools so they can still access the network safe and secure without exposing any information is something you need to start doing now, as opposed to waiting till that call comes, which might happen at any minute,
right,
quite frankly. And you're left trying to scramble to resolve the problem.
What if you do have to travel? You absolutely have to travel. You had to travel this last week. How do you make sure that you're not going to get anything as you're traveling across the country? You're in that aluminum tube going through the air at about 600 miles an hour, breathing the same air that everybody else is breathing, people maybe coughing and things like that. What have you guys been able to do to fortify your immune system?
In my case, so definitely taking things like vitamin C and things like Coldies and some of these other supplements that are out there that are intended to really bolster your immune system. But more importantly, when you travel, make sure you wash your hands at every opportunity and don't just like dip them in the water and then dry them off. Use soap and make it last 20 seconds, which when you do, it seems like a lifetime. It's like, man,
right,
I've been washing my hands for 20 seconds. But it's good practice. I know as I was traveling, going from Monterey to Phoenix and then to San Antonio, at every stop along the way, I'd find the restroom and wash my hands. And especially after sitting in an airplane seat, the airlines are doing a good job of trying to wipe the armrests and things like that with antiseptic wipe before people sit down in them. But maybe you take some of those yourself and you take proactive action.
Right.
And most importantly, one of the things that they recommend is if you're touching a lot of things, whether it's the handrail on a staircase or the armrest, don't put your hands, don't touch your face with your hands,
right,
because that helps spread it faster. So just be good, take good hygiene practices and you're at least be ahead of the game.
I remember what I wanted to tell you. I saw an article about, and we've seen pictures online and social media, people wiping out grocery stores of all sorts of essentials in places like Costco. And there was a meme moving around on Facebook where the person was making the comment that all these people are going in and wiping out Costco of toilet paper, disinfectant wipes, and disinfectant sprays, and all that kind of stuff. They're all trying to make sure that they're not going to get the coronavirus, but very few of them pass up the free food that's sitting out on display on the end caps.
So true. So true.
So there you go. All right, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, has been our guest this Saturday morning as we kick things off on the Experts program. Luis, let's see, it's alvareztg.com on the web, @AlvarezTG. That's the Twitter handle. And if folks want to get in contact with your I-Team, what do they do?
Give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326. We'll be happy to talk to you about how you can prepare your team for the coronavirus quarantine if it comes to happen.